we're going to have a kids lesson. And let's see, how many of you guys remember last time? I like to bring special guests. What did I bring? Firefighter? Cowboy. Exactly. Well, today we're going to do a different lesson, and it's on something called restoration. It's a big word. Does anybody know what restoration means? The word restoration, to restore something? No guesses? Well, let's see. To restore something means to bring something that was old and ugly and make it new and shiny. That's how I understand it. So can you guys give me examples of some things that you have restored and maybe your parents restore? Just raise your hands. Not all at once. Come on, I got gifts for you at the end if you interact with me. Oh, there they go. All right. What is something? Wedding rings. Yes, people restore jewelry. They get old ones and make them shiny and new. What else? Cars. That's my topic for today. We're going to talk about restoring cars. What else? Tools. Yep, you get an old tool at a garage sale and then make it like new and save some money. Well, some of the examples in this slide show, we can dim the lights, we can see better. It's an old rusty house. Look at that. Let's see where the projector is. Here we go. From rusty to new. How about some furniture? There are people in this church that restore furniture and bring an old antique to new. How about photographs? You never thought of that, to restore a photo that's getting wrinkly and old and hard to see to make it new. Well, today we're going to talk about cars, and I like cars, and I've been restoring cars since I was little. And today I have a friend of mine, Steve, who's going to come up here and help me set up the stage, and he's going to show us some of the tools we use to restore cars, and then we're going to see how that affects me and you daily. So, hi, Mr. Steve.
Hi, kids. How are you?
They're shy today, but I'm going to let you set up over here.
They're not going to be shy.
They're not going to be shy by the time we're done, that's for sure. So what does it take to restore a car? I'm going to burn through some slides. That's Steve and Chip Foose. Chip couldn't make it today. He's on overhauling TV shows and stuff. But Steve's here helping us out. And to make shiny cars, like when you look at a brand new car at the auto show, they're shiny. You can clearly tell the kind of cars I like, Porsches. Look how shiny that is. But guess what? Everyone likes shiny cars. Check it out. Caleb likes shiny Corvettes. Caleb likes shiny Corvettes. My dog Brownie likes shiny cars. Steve likes shiny cars. Even minions like shiny cars, right? But the problem is, they're just new and boring to me. I like the kind you have to restore. The old kind, the rusty kind that nobody really likes. Look, this is me and my dad when I first started driving, working, taking a beat up, turned up car like this. See? And look, my backyard was amazing, right? All the tools, my mom was so happy. And then we sanded it down, and Frat Arnaud taught me. He's back here. He still has the auto business. He taught me and my dad how to restore the car and make it shiny and new, and it was in a car show, and I sold it. And that experience got me hooked. I said, wow, now that I'm older, my mom's like, that's it, no more cars, no more cars. That was one. Yeah, right. They just got bigger. So here's one that got rolled over 3 times and I bought it in an auction hit, and guess what? It gets shiny and new, and once it's finished and done, guess who gets to enjoy it? Me and Caleb again. Sorry if the pictures are hard to see. But that's the whole point of it. You take something and make it shiny. And it doesn't have to be the whole car, because it doesn't start with just the whole car. It can be little components. It can be interior. Here's a customer's car. We took it in a paint booth. That's me, thumbs up. And it's shiny once it's done. But some cars don't make it. Like this one here. We had to tow and throw away. That's at the recycling yard. They pick it up with this big crane. Exactly, that's a crane, and they throw it away and it gets destroyed because it's just not worth bringing back. Now you might look at this car and think the same thing. It's not worth bringing back. But I have hopes for this one. This is an old race car, and one day I'm going to put it back on the racetrack. You can see how many, they're starting to pile up. It's a bit of a problem. So here's Brownie at the shop enjoying, and I wanted to make her a shop dog and put tools on her so she can help me, but she didn't like that idea. But see, my goal is to take that ugly car and turn it into a shiny race car one day again. Well, to get to there, it takes some things. And to make something shiny, Mr. Steve's going to be almost ready to show us some of the tools. It takes more than just tools. It takes a vision. You got to know what you want it to look like when it's finished. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of hard work, and it takes some skill. I had no idea how to do this until your dad, Frat Arnaud, showed me, some of the tips and tricks, and then something amazing came out called YouTube, and you start learning, and I can't tell you how many times I painted that blue car. It's probably like 4 or 5 times, but I finally got it right, and that is where patience and, of course, unfortunately, money comes into play. So to get to this shiny kind of finish, Mr. Steve, I'm going to let you show us some of the tools.
Well, hey, boys and girls, like Emmanuel said, there are many, many, many tools that are needed to restore a car. These are just but a few of them, okay? And sometimes, when we first get started, we have to make sure we are safe. You know what these are? Gloves. We don't want to get our hands messy. And goggles. We must protect our eyes. Sometimes we paint, and so therefore, we must have a respirator. We don't want to breathe all the paint fumes. Does it understand that? Sometimes the fumes sit all in the air. We don't want to breathe them. Air mask. Sometimes we take a little sandpaper, we wrap it, we buff it, water, sander, vibrating cleaner. Sometimes we take old rusty parts, put them in the cleaner, and they will come out shiny and new. It kind of shakes all the dirt off it. You heard it when I plugged it in. It wasn't supposed to be on. Makes a lot of noise. Vibrates around. It's a very slow, long process. Sometimes the fixes are real quick. Sometimes they'll take a long time. Kind of like you. Get a little cut. Sometimes it takes days to fix. Sometimes it's real quick. Does that make sense? I think Emmanuel's going to bring up a piece of car.
So, real quick, I grabbed the sunroof off one of the Porsches, and that's how the Germans say it, Porsche. And if you go to the dealership and say, I want to buy a Porsche, they look at you funny. You have to say, I want to buy a Porsche. But anyhow, this is a sunroof. Can you tell which side has been restored? The top or the bottom? No, you guys are all wrong. It was the bottom. No, I'm kidding. Of course, yes. This part right here is scratched and dirty. And this part, really, I didn't even spend a lot of time. I just kind of put some wax on it and restored it. And so I want 2 volunteers. Who's going to come up here and help me? Let's see. From the back, we have Joseph. And let's see, a girl. You want to come up here? Come on. Yeah, come on. You can come. Come on, come on, come on. So, okay, she's too shy. Someone else. Another girl. Brian? No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Right back there with the glasses. Yes. Come on. Joseph, hurry, hurry. I want you to take this marker, and I'm going to let you destroy this nice, shiny part. I mean, sign your name, draw anything you want. Go ahead. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Your parents will pay for it. It's fine. Just go. Just try it. Yeah, go crazy. This is fun, isn't it? All right, we're done. All right, and now we're going to really, put some scratches in it to make it fun for Mr. Steve. And he's going to spend the next 3 minutes trying to fix this while I finish the lesson. There you go, Mr. Steve. We're going to go from this back to shiny. So, if I can get my PowerPoint back, I'll continue on with the lesson. Now, while he's working hard on it to do what he does, you see some shiny cars. But a car like this one wasn't always this shiny. Once again, it took a lot of work. You had to pull the motor out. You had to go through every little bit and piece of it. Like this one here, it's an ugly car. Nobody wants it. It's dusty. But once it's done, shiny, right? Interiors as well. This ugly car right here is probably worth $10,000, but once it's shiny and done, about $100,000. It's amazing how much value something can have when you put work into it. Once again, examples. This is the process. There's a man that uses this laser gun, and he scans the color of the car, and then he gives us paint, and we take the car and sand it all the way down to the metal, and then there's me spraying without my gas mask on, but it comes out shiny as can be, right? And so a car that was once dull can be shiny. Now, there's a race car, takes some parts, and then when it's finished, it can go back on the racetrack. That's my next project. I want to find a Romanian Dacia, like the very first kind they ever made. Like seriously, and I'm going to restore that. But until then, here's what I'm trying to say for you guys. Like Mr. Steve said, sometimes a cut takes a little bit of time. Now, my 2 volunteers had a lot of fun messing up that panel, and it's taken Mr. Steve a lot of work to bring it back. In our lives, God gave us a shiny, perfect, clean heart that we sometimes mess up with sin. We lie to our parents. Maybe we're tempted to steal. Maybe sometimes we do things we know we shouldn't do. And we're taking that shiny conscience and that shiny heart and that shiny spirit the Lord gave us, and we're making it ugly and dirty. And really, sometimes you know, our parents have to use some tools that are pretty painful to straighten us up. Like, let's see, what's a really painful tool? Oh, I bet I can find something here that none of us like. This is a hammer and dolly kit. And you put it on the panel and you have to hammer it to straighten it out when it's bent. That doesn't feel good. What kind of tools do your parents use on you? I'm sure it's not this, but maybe a belt, maybe a hand. You know, we don't want to get arrested here in the United States. But it gets painful because we messed up the shiny person we were supposed to be, the shiny heart, the shiny conscience, the shiny spirit. So the Bible has some tips for us that we can learn. And then the question is, well, how can a young person stay on the path of purity? Psalm 119. Cum poate să țină tânărul? You guys know the verse? Well, the Bible tells us by living according to your word. And Psalm 19 goes further. In verse 11, it tells us more. It's one of my favorite verses. It talks about, strâng cuvântul tău în inima mea ca să nu păcătuiesc împotriva ta. Yeah, I know I'm in Romanian. It's hard for me to quote him in English, but it says, I've hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. So keeping your path straight and not sinning against God comes back to having a relationship with him, reading your Bible. It takes work. Mr. Steve's still working on that panel. But you know, God doesn't want us to die. God doesn't want us to live in sin. He doesn't want us to not be shiny and pure for him. You know, God swears here that he doesn't want people to die. He doesn't, Domnul nu vrea moartea păcătosului is the verse that comes to mind. But he wants us all to repent and not be ugly and dirty like that Sharpie and scratched up. Steve, you almost done there, buddy?
Almost.
Okay. He wants us to do that because why? Everybody should know this verse. Why does God not want us to die? Speak up.
Verse Ioan 3:16.
Can you say it for me?
Fiindcă așa, cât de mult a iubit Dumnezeu lumea că a dat pe singurul său fiu ca să oricine încrede el să nu piară și să aibă viață veșnică.
Very good. That is a verse I hope every single one of you can remember and memorize. But it talks about the truth. You know, God doesn't want us to be rusty and old and not worth anything for Satan to make fun of us. He wants us to shine. He wants us to have straight A's in school. He wants us to be obedient to our parents. He wants us to have good careers, live like examples, to grow up and be awesome. So I think after much work, Mr. Steve has finally fixed the blemishes in the panel. Let's take a look. Shiny again. So I want you guys to take this application and realize how much work. I mean, when we have to paint, we have to measure things, we have to filter things. There's a lot of work. There's different compounds. Look at the pad. You know, your mistakes, your sin in life, they leave icky stuff behind. I have to buy another pad. This is like $20. Thanks a lot, you guys. No, I'm kidding. You guys are fine. What I wanted to show you is you can go from this to this by obeying your parents, by reading the Word of God, and by keeping it clean. Now, if it gets a little dirty, all I got to do is spray some water and wipe it down. It's much easier to keep it clean if it's already clean, right? So I got something, and Mr. Steve and I brought you some gifts. I believe they're maybe back here or there. Yeah, they're there. So when I was growing up back in the 80s and 90s, there was a type of gum called Turbo. This was hard to find. I had to pull some strings for you guys on Amazon to get this. But it's a gum, and in it, there's pictures of cars, and it talks about their horsepower and everything. So it's pretty cool stuff. And Mr. Steve's going to pass this around. And also, besides one piece of Turbo gum, which you guys can chew later, we don't want it stuck on the chairs or anything. We can give that at the end. How about you guys come get the Turbo gum at the end of church? And for now, I'll give you all an air freshener that you can put in your car. Mr. Steve's going to do this. That you guys can put in your car to remember and to remind yourselves of what it's like to smell fresh and clean like a freshly restored car. So thank you guys, and come back by the door. I'll stay in there with the gum and give you guys all a piece of the Turbo gum because I don't want you guys chewing it in church. That'll probably be a conflict of interest at Gwinnett Romanian Baptist Church. All right, little fellows. Thank you so much for being so good. And remember, once you're clean, it's easier to stay clean than you have to sand and repaint and fix the panel again. Okay, thank you.